But speaking about Ferrari, I've got a question for us. Do you think Ferrari have decided that Leclerc will be the number one driver from now on and their only shot to win the drivers or constructor championships?
It's such a difficult thing to come down on the side of, because we had that infamous moment with Mattia Binotto pointing his finger at Charles. Oh, that was such a memorable moment. One of the best ones so far this season. I don't think they've made a decision yet.
Really?
Honestly, I think that at the end of the day, it's Charles is so far behind Carlos when it comes to engine replacements and replacement parts. That is what it's going to come down to. I've got the stats up here, actually. You know I love me and my numbers. ICE, turbocharger, MGUH, MGUK, all 4 for Charles, 3 for Carlos at the moment, but we'll have to see what happens as a result of the fire. But exhaust 6 out of 8, so we could even start getting grid penalties for his exhausts.
Right.
Yeah, and his control electronics, he's 1 over 3. He's got a budget of 2, and then the only one where he's within his budget, or well, except for exhaust, is his energy store. I think that at the end of the day, that is what it's going to come down to. Once they have worked out who's going to be avoiding those grid penalties, that's when they can make the decision.
For me, it's sort of, I think, after Austria, you've seen that Sainz just lacks that 1% pace you need to compete with at least like Verstappen. At least I think he's on par probably Checo and probably on par with like Russell and Lewis this year in the car they have. But I think he lacks that 1% you need to challenge Max. Like you saw in Silverstone, he was quicker. Charles was definitely quicker, but his strategy got messed up, and the damage he had definitely got messed up. He was quicker than Max in the sprint, I think, Charles. But again, battling with Sainz cost him probably the winning the sprints probably. And for me, I think even though Sainz is so far ahead in terms of engine and replacements he has in all the components you said, right? He's 70 points behind Max Verstappen. That's like 3 race wins, right? Where Max has to DNF for him to be level pegging with them, right? Do Ferrari just say, look, I know Sainz and like Leclerc down with big gaps, probably like 25, 30 points, but do Ferrari just say, look, Sainz isn't good enough this year. Carlos, you've done great. You've been a great team player this year. Let Charles take it. And I think Charles is the only chance we have to win the driver championship. Because I think Red Bull is sort of taking it away with the team one. Checo is constantly doing well. He's been unlucky, but when luck turns for him, I think Checo will be the one that can finish P3 every single race.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
What would you do if you were Carlos Sainz and Mattia Binotto with the infamous waving your finger said, look, Carlos, you're the second driver now, and Charles is our only chance to win a Ferrari?
I have to concede, it does feel like Charles has that something else over Carlos. Yeah. Carlos, fantastic driver, but when you get to the upper echelons of F1, especially this season, where it's so competitive, there's so many different moving parts. I think if I had to come down on the side, I'm coming down on Charles' side.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's nothing Sainz could say that would justify. If he would have won the Austrian Grand Prix, right? Or if he didn't have his Sainz's fire and the whole engine stuff, which we'll get into after this, if he didn't have that and he won Austria with the back of Silverstone, I think he would have said, look, I'm as competitive as Charles is at the moment. It took me a while. It took me a bit longer to get used to it. But I feel for the last 3 races, I don't think he would have won in Silverstone if Charles pitted. If Ferrari pitted Charles as well. I don't think he would. I don't think he was that quick.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't think there's been a single point in the season where I can say Carlos Sainz has outdriven Charles Leclerc. I don't think a single point.
It's been strategy, hasn't it?
It has. I think it's been strategy and the engine. That I think the whole reliability issue with Charles's car, I think that's been one of the main causes why he can't compete for the title currently. He's at the last 5 races before Silverstone, he wasn't on the podium. He had 2 DNFs like 2 fourth place and the 5th place, all either because of strategy or he had damage or his engine just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But
the question is when does Mattia have to make this decision by?
I think it's now. I think it's his only break. Because you think about it, right? From Paul Ricard, you've got what? Half the season left, right? Charles is already about 40 points behind Max, right? You need your number one concentration right now. I think Mattia is going to, before Paul Ricard, just go up to Sainz and be like, look, you've done well this year. You've done really great this year. It's taking you long to get adjusted to this new car, which is fine. Like it's a new season for everyone. It's hard to get adjusted to. Take this year, be the second driver. If you get a chance, win. Help us in the team championship. Get back next year, be stronger and competitive. Because Charles is on a deal till probably 2028, right?
And I'd also say that battling between Carlos and Charles in the sprint race. I mean, the whole Ferrari pit wall is going to be sweating their balls off throughout that whole thing. I feel like they're going to be thinking we have been given a miracle that nothing happened.
Yeah, they definitely have. They definitely have.
Make a decision before it happens again.
I think so. I think that just showed them because like Charles was catching up a second per lap for the final three laps of the race. It was insane. That's when he had like free air from Charles and free air from Carlos and Max. He's catching up. And I think this is just time for Mattia to be like, look, Carlos, you've done well, but Charles is our main focus, which I think as F1 fans, we don't like to see it because there's going to be team orders in play and no one's going to actually fight on track. But it's going to be great for the championship, so I really don't mind.
The one thing I would say to add a little bit of nuance is I think the rules are, what is it? If you replace the same part over your allocation twice, you get 5 place grid penalty, right? It's 10 for the first time, 5 for the next one.
Yeah.
So despite being using so many more replacements than Carlos, he's taken his big penalty because he's gone 1 over on all of his key engine parts. He's taken that drop back towards the back of the grid. It's going to get easier from here on out.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's something that is something that we need to bear in mind as well. When we talk about reliability.
Ferrari's definitely got the outright pace. Like as this weekend, they had outright pace. Even if Charles started P5, I think he would have won the Grand Prix. He was that quick on that day. But reliability will be the big question. I think will probably decide the whole championship. And
all you had to look at was Max's interviews on the Saturday. He was visibly distracted.
He was. He definitely.
And it's because he knew. Yeah.
He knew. I think he knew. I think the moment they knew that the tire deck would kick in and he would just be a sitting duck basically. But I mean, looking at Sainz's fire, I don't think in my head I'm like that could happen to Charles any single race. That would throw away the entire championship.